Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy day to you guys all out there. Welcome. It's aisle 4 here. We're going to be doing a tutorial on an iron farm. It's more of a simplistic early iron farm for early game when you don't have a lot of resources, but you probably have a lot of cobble. So we're going to throw this together and let you know what's going on. During this tutorial, we'll be looking at what we need, where it needs to go, and what you're going to put into it. You are going to need a 23 by 23 block area. So 23 by 23 is going to be your border. You can see it in the back of the screen right there, just the corner of it. And this border needs to be solid 6 deep. So wherever you build it, make sure that it's solid 6 deep. You can build it anywhere though, so that's nice. Over dirt, over sand. So here we go. Here's what we're looking at. You can see that I've got a wood border. I just use that for my bordering, jungle wood. I like it. And I did it 23 by 23. I made sure that all the blocks were solid all the way down. And the reason that I did it this way is so that we could have, nice looking, pretty view. I did it in the spawn. So this is where I originally spawned. I marked it when I spawned in. That way I can always have it running when I am in the overworld because it's in the spawn chunk. You can see here in the center that we've got a 7 by 7 square and a smaller square in the center of that. The very middle square is where the zombie's going to go, 3 by 3. The outer square, 7 by 7, is where the villager's going to go. Remember, in 1.16, no villager workstations needed, so just 4 beds, 4 villagers, 1 zombie. And then you saw the outline for the where the actual farm's going to be. If you look off in the distance, I've got 2 villages close to this spawn, so it works great for me. Getting villagers is obviously the most difficult piece, but if you're close to them or you've got some place to it, that's great. I have a villager breeder in my world that's halfway between that village and my temple. So my temple home, that makes it a little bit easier to get them over where I need to go. So they'll be just probably brought in by rail and dropped in through the roof, make it a lot easier for what we're going to do. So you're going to need some cobblestone. I was going to use smooth stone, but it's early game. Maybe you don't use the resources. Maybe you just want to just have just cobble, and that's what you want to use. So we're going to look at what's in the chest. You'll see smooth stone, but in the end, we use cobblestone. I like that better. You're going to need a bucket of lava, 1 hopper, and 2 chests, or even just 1 chest. It doesn't really matter. A barrel, it doesn't matter. You need some cobble walls, cobblestone, and cobble stairs. And then for me, I got some glass. Excuse me. I got some glass as well. I want my villagers to have a little bit of window. You'll need some torches as well. So an anvil and a name tag for the zombie. You can fish for a name tag. Best way to find them, especially early game. Make yourself a fishing pole and just fish away for that sucker. And you get a couple in there. Maybe even get a nice little fishing pole. There is no more AFK fishing in 1.16. So it could take you a little while. That is where I got my name tags in my world. Obviously, in this world, I'm in creative, so it's a little bit easier. I'm going to use spawn eggs. I'm not going to bring villagers over and show that whole process. So we're not going to do that. You can see I'm getting the cobble out, even though I had started with smooth stone. And we will get started building it. We'll get started building this thing in just a second here. Let's make sure we've got everything. I have a bed here to make it daytime, but I can just set the time to day, and it works just as easy. Okay, so here we go where we're going to put them up. Now, the building that's going to hold our villagers, excuse me, is going to be 3 high. And we're going to have that. We're going to have our beds, get our beds ready. The fences are just to mark areas off. You don't need as much fencing as I have. I just brought extra over. You definitely don't need as much stone and wood as I'm showing. It's just something that's in my inventory. You need enough for the border and then for the wood if that's what you want. And then really just the fences to cap it off. You're going to need a shovel, water. Make sure you make yourself an infinite water source someplace near here. In this case, in creative, obviously, I've got the infinite water, but a couple buckets or 1 bucket and an infinite water source. I'm close to the river here. So on your internal 3 by 3, you're going to have a space for the zombie, and then it's going to be open around him so he can scare the villagers. So leave the top open to drop him in. After you get your slabs up on top, you want to have a hole to drop him in. I'm going to plug it up for right now, but it's just the center hole that's going to be there. I was just going to throw the egg inside. In the end, we'll throw it through the top. So then you build up your wall. Always a fun time, making it nice and cobbly. Looks pretty basic, but again, for me, this is an early game build. You can build more complicated iron farms with rails and villagers and super output, but I mean, that's a little bit later in game. If you're going to bring your villagers in low, though, and not high, make sure you leave a space open for them. You can see I'm leaving a space open for the windows where we're going to put them. And again, the windows, all that stuff is just for decoration, right? Got to have the decorations. The beds need to be the head at the corner of the thing on each side. So the head ends up at the corner on each side. I've got those in there for when we drop our villagers in there. Let's finish up with this wall. 3 high, remember. That gives the villagers room to walk on the beds and not get stuck. I mean, it was just a little bit easier for them. And then not only 3 high, but we're going to put bottom slabs on top. So it's going to be 3.5 high for them. And then make sure inside you put a couple torches. Keep it light for your villagers and make sure nothing spawns inside there. Big part of this build is making sure that there are no spawnable spaces outside of the designated space that you want your iron golems to spawn. So let's grab us some cobblestone slabs, some torches, and then we'll grab some slabs. I just put 1 in each corner. That keeps it light enough in there, keeps the light level high enough that nothing is spawning in there. Not really worried about an iron golem spawning inside with the villagers, but who knows if a zombie could spawn inside there on one of the open spaces. That's why I keep that lit up. So where I'm putting the bricks here, that's actually wall, and I'm going to fix that pretty soon. But I just want to let you guys know that coming off of the wall, which is 2 back, on the 3rd block back from the corner is where we put the stone. And then right here is where we're going to put clear out that space right there, put upside down stairs. That way you can get to your chest and the backside is still blocking stuff. So you can do a single chest, a double chest. Obviously, double chest is easier to do. Bring your wall out to the corner to meet up with the stairs, and then go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then a 3rd high. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now you've got your spot where you're going to set up your hopper. So you're going to make a hole there for your chest. You're going to get your hopper and you're going to shoot it into the chest. And then you're going to put some signs on the wall to build your trap there. So we're going to grab our signs. Boom. We're going to pop one right there. Not there. Right there. And then hot on the outside corner and outside corner. And that gives us a place to pour our lava, and it'll be trapped by the signs. Remember, the iron golem is 3 blocks high, so he's going to run into that. So I'm going to put some water in here. So you're going to flow it off of the different 4 corners, and it'll push down to you. So 1, right there, and right there. Now you can see the water all flowing in, so the iron golem will push into there. All right, so we're putting stairs there, but they don't go there. Where we're going to put the stairs, we're going to take those out, and we're going to put walls here to keep the iron golems from climbing out and to keep anything from spawning, or the iron golems from spawning there on that wall. And then we're going to replace these. Like I told you, these are supposed to be walls. So in the beginning, put walls here. All right, so we've got our walls. It looks good. Replace these with some walls. All right, now we have our area where the iron golem is going to spawn. So this is where he's going to spawn. All the rest of this is going to be spawn proof. So as we go through this, I'll show you what I mean, and we'll get all this spawn proofed up. So it looks pretty good. It's not bad looking. It's not hideous. The amount of time that's passing will be pretty good for like AFKing if you're not in the spawn chunk. You can sit there for a couple hours and get quite a good amount of iron, maybe 5, 6 stacks. So what we're going to do is we're going to put fences all the way around. And I will be right back once we have our fences in. Okay, here we are. We have our fences in. Looks pretty good. I've marked off the corners so that you could see what you could do with the corners. You can put additional farm lava kill chambers in there to randomize where the golems will spawn and have 4 chests capable. Or you could put crops that you could grow in there. You can even put farmers growing crops in there, and then off the corners of each area. Like the video that I saw that was done by Avomance, he did it with farmers and feeding each other, but that's another 1, 2, 3, 6 villagers on top of the 4 that you already have to get there. That's a lot. But make sure you have a gate to be able to get in. That's going to be important. Or, you could put a piece of carpet on the corner, but easier way for you to get in and out of this area. So made a little pathway. Walk over here. Make sure I have enough space to get to the gate. So what we're going to do, though, in order to spawn proof it all, is everywhere that you see grass, we are going to path it. And that's going to make it so it is spawn proof all the way around. You do not have to path the corners. Like in this area right here, in the paths between, you definitely want to make this into pathway to make it non-spawnable. But in the corners that I have cornered off, you could leave that as grass and then put water in it like you would for a normal crop farm, and just just till it with the hoe so that it is non-spawnable. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and get this all done. I'll be right back. Okay, you can see that I've made everything that was grass blocks and spawnable into path blocks. Now nothing can spawn on any of those other areas. The only place left to spawn once we put our bottom slabs on top of our structures will be in the waterway, which is normal dirt below that, and that is the only place that the iron golem will be able to spawn. Again, you do not have to do the corners. You don't have to path them up. You can put a water source in there and then till them up and plant crops there as well, and that'll keep things from spawning there. I'm going to put my crops other places, put villagers other places. I didn't want to make it a part of this farm, so I just went with what I've got going on here. So we're going to grab our slabs now, and we're going to put a slab over, the bottom slabs over the top of all of this. Make sure they're bottom slabs, not top slabs. Boom. Iron Golem, that's the edge of his spawning radius anyway. That's why you have to spawn up over the lava. Slab up over the lava. So we've got this, so nothing can spawn up here. And we're going to fill this in. Looks pretty good. I like the way that it's looking so far. Remember to leave a hole open in the center for your zombie. I'll open one up in a minute. But in the center for your zombie and for your villagers. You got to make sure your villagers have a place to spawn. So just leave that there for them. Boom. There, that's open for him. Make sure your zombie, when you're bringing him in, it's not close to daytime where he'll burn up, or you have something to put over him as soon as it starts getting hot. So at this point, you might have already made your name tag. I'm going to go ahead and make mine now. We're going to call him Iron Bro Z. Yeah, Iron Bro Z sounds like a good name. There we go. Because he's a zombie, but he's an Iron Bro. He's going to help us out. All right, so we're going to grab our zombie spawn egg. Now remember, just on the top there, you can make a walkway so he can get up there if it's nighttime and follow you up. And you can do it that way. You don't have to, figure out some weird way. Just make a little walkway right off wherever it's at, right over the top of him. So we left a hole for the villagers. Now we need to get 4 villagers in here. In this case, this is a little tougher. Obviously, villagers are a little tougher. So build a walkway with a rail and just run them up on a rail cart. Have a little wall here up at the top. Break the rail cart below them, and they drop inside. Easiest during the day because they'll move away from the bed right away, and you don't have to drop the other rail cart on top of them. Oh, it's trying to sleep. Can't sleep. All right, so that guy goes right to sleep. See what I mean? So, and you can leave the hole not near the bed. Drop them in there like that. I don't want to ping on him and maybe create a baby. And boom, we've got 4 villagers going on. We close up our slab, and look at there. Our first iron golem is already in the house. So you'll probably get about 3.5, almost 4 stacks of iron per hour at this point, the way that this one works. You could build multiple of these right next to each other. They require very little resources that aren't readily available early game. So you could build, I don't know, 4, 5 of these, 6 of these, 7 of these. It doesn't matter. The key thing to remember is that the box down below have to be 6 deep and have to have no spaces. So it has to be a solid 6 blocks. The square has to be 23 by 23 to fit into the constraints of Minecraft. No more workstations are needed. You can see them. They're just going to keep on running around, popping iron golems out every few minutes, and they'll stay scared. So you're going to get better rates at night, obviously. Again, I like mine in the spawn chunk because it keeps going no matter where in the world I'm running around, as long as I'm not in the nether or the end. So as long as I'm in the overworld, this thing just keeps pumping out iron for me. And for that, I'm a very happy guy. But like I said, you could have this be a couple deep. You can, if you're going to build chest storage instead of just the one chest, you're not cleaning it out. Remember the solid block rule. That means you can't just build a big chest room underneath here because that negates the solid block room. So you'll have to have enough hoppers to run out from that first hopper past the 23 mark because the hopper will take up a space, so you'll be fine. Out past the 23 mark and then build your storage room outside of there. Whether it's going to be like sorted storage or just, hey, I've got 4 or 5 chests here that my iron's dropping into. You just need to make sure that you've got enough outside of the 23 by 23. Now, your other 4 corner blocks, what can you do with those? You can leave them like that. You can put crops in there. You can plant, I don't know, some flowers in there. I don't know what you'd plant in there, some trees. No, I wouldn't plant trees or anything. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I think trees would cause spawning. But you can also rebuild this little chamber all the way around. So if you decided I'm going to rebuild this chamber all the way around, you can do that, and that would be fine as well. They're not going to get any more spawns. The iron golem spawn rate's not going to increase, but it will randomize across 4 chests, and sometimes that's pretty good too. So I want to thank you guys for being here and tuning in. I hope this tutorial helped. If you like it, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't already subscribed. I very much appreciate the audience. If you have any questions, let me know. And again, the original that I saw from Avomance, I'll put that link in my description. You guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon.